Hey everyone, welcome back to the Whoopi Studio, and I'm here today with a brand new video. We are going to be doing something fun. We're going to be giving our top 10 favorite sodas that we have drinking. I'm here with my friend Ryan. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Micah. Thank you so much for having me. It's good to be back.
Yeah, and I was like, recently I've been trying as many soda as possible, trying to get a good variety, and started using Tier Maker to rank them. And I'm like, I really want to record a podcast about this. So I was like, I've done a fast food podcast with Ryan. I think he'll be down for talking some soda.
Yeah, I would. Now, to be completely honest with everyone, have been on a bit of a diet. I gained a lot of weight during the height of the pandemic, mostly due to stress, but I'm happy to say I've lost all of that. So has been kind of out of my diet for a really long time. So a lot of my choices are based off of memories or I have stories attached to it, and one particularly funny story with one of my choices.
Yeah, so you go ahead and go. What's your first soda
So
pick?
my number 10, I'm not sure if they sell this anymore. I haven't really seen it around, but my number 10 is Fresca. It's one of my dad's favorites, and I think I can't remember if they sold just a citrus one, but specifically the citrus kind of Fresca. That was always a favorite of mine. And my dad would always drink it back when he was a heavy soda drinker himself. He's not that much anymore. But I remember always having it, and he always let me have it. So it was like our little thing.
Yeah, um, I'm not even sure if I've had Fresca before. I feel like that's kind of before my
It was,
time a little bit.
I think there was a period of time when it was discontinued and then they brought it back. I'll have to look it up later.
I feel like that's probably something my grandparents drank. Okay. My number 10 is a newer one, Orange Vanilla Coke. This came out 2019. Um, and I really liked the orange vanilla, orange cream, really that combination, like overall. So the fact that they put it into a Coke, I thought turned out really good. Um, it's like a treat whenever I get it because it's just not something I get very often, but I definitely think they made a good choice with creating the soda.
Yeah, I've been kind of leery of that one because it's like, okay, cherry vanilla was okay, they got away with it, but orange vanilla, it's like, I'm not sure. There's like a lot of contrasting stuff going on there. It feels like it's gonna get to the point where it's like it stops being Coke and then it just be like a dreamsicle. And if I want a dreamsicle, I'll have a dreamsicle.
It works though. It actually works.
All right, then I'll have to take you up on that.
Okay. So what's your next pick?
So for my number 9, and honestly, I this is a root beer, and I was going back and forth on this one or A&W, and I finally chose on the former, and I chose Mug. And this it's kind of a bit of a meme online where it's like people always talk about like Coke or Pepsi, but it's like Mug and this one other Mug and Barks, there it is, that are like they're always like under the radar, and yet they consistently deliver. So and I've had I've had mixed feelings on various root beers. Barks got me started, but then I had Mug, and it was like, that's it. This is the one.
Yeah, I'll get my root beer pick a little bit later, but it's definitely one of my favorites. Honestly, they're all kind of the A&W and Mug are very similar to me. I noticed that, and I mean not similar to the point where like you can't tell them apart because I think you can, but Barks I think is definitely just has like a distinct flavor compared to the other two. But root beer overall, I just think is really good. Yeah.
Good old
Um,
sarsaparilla.
Okay, and for me in ninth place, and I have one that's already similar to this on the list, but it's cherry Pepsi, wild cherry Pepsi. Um, I it's not something I get very often again, but I think because Pepsi's sweeter, I think cherry Pepsi works because um, I'm not the biggest into cherry drinks. I mean, cherry vanilla I like better than just wild cherry. But I think out of all the cherry drinks I really have, I think I really like cherry Pepsi. I think it's really good.
There is a cherry flavored version on my list, and I'll talk about that later. But Is there a difference between like regular cherry and like wild cherry, or is it just like a branding thing?
I think it's a branding thing. I don't think there's much difference.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So for my next choice, and both of these are like they're under the same label. However, I'm choosing I'm choosing one over the other just because the my number seven is more nostalgic to me, but I still like my number eight, which is Grape Crush. And grape soda is kind of like you, Micah. I don't get it too often. Like I rarely even see it around anymore. But I remember when I was younger and I would have it, and it was like these are what grapes taste like, and then I tasted actual grapes, and it's like not even close. But it's still it's a lot of younger memories.
Yeah. I really don't have grape soda every once in a while, and I think grape soda is actually underrated. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
hmm because I think I think I actually like grape soda better than cherry, though, to be honest. Um, I think so.
Grape flavored Coke, get on it there, Coca-Cola people.
Yeah, that's one thing they could stay away from. Um, and my number eight is Sunkiss. Now I know like Fanta and Crush, like I mean they're pretty much all the same. I feel like I mean I know they're a little bit different, but Sunkiss is still my favorite out of all of them. I mean I love orange soda, um, and Sunkiss is like a I don't know, not one of my favorites, obviously, but I think for an orange drink, I really like it.
Yeah, and well, my orange drink pick is next, and I might as well go into it now. My number seven is Orange Crush, and I love Grape Crush, but Orange Crush has more meaning to me because I my dad always used to get it in like the six pack, but in the bottles. And whenever we would watch like football together, he would have like a regular like Sam Adams beer, and I would have my Orange Crush, and I felt like such an adult back then. But it was really nice, and I would keep it in the freezer, like not too much to be like an icicle, but like just enough to where you touch it and you'd be like, is my hand stuck here? What is this? So, like I said, a lot of memories, but yeah, orange soda is a bit weird because it's like you have to be, I guess, like a connoisseur to be like, hmm, there's different notes here that I'm detecting. Because if you were to go in kind of blind, you'd be like, they all kind of taste similar to me.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, no, but orange soda is I don't know, it's definitely one of my favorites. And okay, so in seventh place, I have Mountain Dew Voltage. This is my brother's favorite, and it's definitely one of my favorites. I'm not sure if you've had the specific flavor, but I really like Mountain Dew, like overall. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the original, but I love Baja Blast. Didn't make it on this list, but I think Voltage is really good. I don't even have a full explanation for it, but I just think I like how it's not too sweet like Mountain Dew's to the point where it gives a good kick, and it definitely like when you need like something like boost you up, it's definitely a good choice. So Mountain Dew Voltage, it's actually good.
Is Voltage the white or the blue?
The blue.
Oh, okay, because I was thinking, because I remember, I think you may have been a little too young for this, but I remember there was an ad campaign with Mountain Dew where it was like, we're coming up with a new flavor. We have a red, a white, and a blue. You decide. And it was always, it was always followed up with a big old tug of war. I'm sure the ad's on YouTube somewhere, but I remember because I'm a big NASCAR fan and soda sponsorships and NASCAR kind of go like this together. And so there would be like 50 or 75 soda commercials per race. And that Mountain Dew one was on like every single one. And it would be just this big old tug of war. And it's like, will it be Code Red? Will it be Voltage? Or will it be the white one, which I can't remember the name of right now. But it, they just released all three anyway. But I haven't actually had Voltage, but I just remember the commercials more than the soda itself, which sounds weird, but there it is.
There it is. Okay, so what's your in your sixth place?
So for my sixth, I chose Dr. Pepper, and this is this is I this is a soda that I can never see myself drinking in like just a standard cup. It was like in a glass bottle. There's a in like specific restaurants, I think it's like more of like a Mexican restaurant. They have like this big old case with like another one of my picks and Sunkist in bottles and Coca-Cola in bottles and there's always Dr. Pepper and it's got the unique bottle where it slopes down and then it goes in and then goes back down again. I'm sure some of you are familiar with the design, but I like the taste of it. I think the whole 57 flavors thing is a bit exaggerated, but it's like starts out like with a cherry on the back end and like a Coke taste in the front. And there's something about that that I just really like.
Hmm. Yeah, and uh, that's definitely on my list a little bit later, Dr. Pepper. For me, sixth place is really any kind of cream soda because I don't have like a certain I don't have a certain brand. I mean, A and W cream soda I typically get or Fago. But cream soda is like one of my favorites. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just it's so good. Like I'm not sure. I'm assuming you're a fan based on your reaction, but yeah, cream soda just really any brand, any kind. I just think it has a great taste, great flavor, and it definitely you can get addicted to it easily.
Yeah, it's one of those underrated ones that nobody talks about anymore, but I just remember like I feel like I'm tasting it right now because it's really is so distinct. It's like kind of goes in like ginger ale and it's like, oh, there's the cream part.
Yeah. So what's your in your fifth place?
Well, speaking of ginger ale, my number five is Schweppes ginger ale, and for for some, I think ginger ale may be a bit of an acquired taste. I know some that are like, oh, I just don't like it, and it's like, I do. I think it's really good, and I love. It's like the most fizziest soda in the world. It's like if you put it like up to your face, all the bubbles like jump on you and like in your nose and stuff. It's it's rather unique to say the least, and I just it's one of those where it's like it's not in too many fountains, but if I see it on a fountain, I'm like, that's mine, give it.
Yeah. Um, so I don't know why I'm like because I know this isn't a soda, but I just thought I would put it in there and say lemonade. Um, I don't know. It might be bending the rules a little bit, but like really lemon.
It's it's in most soda fountains, so if we're going based off that.
Yeah. Lemonade. I don't even. I mean, and I think whenever I got a Chick-fil-A, like every time I went, and um,
Hmm.
any. I mean, really, I haven't had like a bad glass of lemonade really like ever, and I feel like lemonade's like such like a refreshing drink, especially in the summer. Because there's definitely days in the summer where you need to have a glass of lemonade if you want to stay outside. But really just getting like again getting a refreshing glass of lemonade. Pink lemonade's also good. Strawberry lemonade's good. Really, all kinds of lemonade in my opinion are good. I've tried not like peach lemonade, peach mango lemonade. No, but every lemonade's just definitely one of my favorites. Again, it might not fully count as a soda, but I just went ahead and decided to put it in there.
Like I said, it's in most soda fountains. When I worked at a movie theater, it was there, so I'll let you have it there. But yeah, I lemonade is like the silent killer. It's like most lemonades are like usually good to great. I agree with you. The flavors can get really weird. Like some people like have blueberry lemonade, and it's like, how did that conversation get started? It's like someone drinking a glass and looking at blueberries and be like, I have an idea. It's weird, but I don't know if you like half and half, but I like do the half tea, half lemonade kind of thing. And sometimes they can get a little crazy where it's like half sweet tea, half pink lemonade, which I liked for a time, but then it's like just kind of tastes like sugar to me.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I like sweet tea, but it's one of those things that every like I can't drink it very often. It's one of those things that's like every once in a while, like I might like order a sweet tea, but like Um, not the biggest fan. So, but I hear a lot of people who mix tea and lemon. I know they do that at McAllister's. That's one of their things, and it's actually good. So, what's your fourth place pick?
So my fourth place, and this has got a bit of a story attached. It's Cherry Coke, and I'll try and make this as short as possible. But when I was younger, I was in a theater camp for the summer, and I believe we were doing The Wizard of Oz. And so we would, during the opening weeks, we split off into, say, working on the set, doing the singing and doing the choreography, and that would be all day. And so there would be times where we as a group would be split off into the various things. We'd be waiting because it took place at a local high school here. And in every high school, I don't know if they have these with you, Micah, but there were vending machines. And they're I'm sure they're super healthy now, but back then it was like pretty much like Coke, Diet Coke, Cherry Vanilla Coke, and various others. Well, I was really bored waiting for the transition between like the singing class and the dance class. And so I was kind of looking at the vending machine and I just started randomly like pressing the buttons. Like I didn't expect anything of it. And then I hit the cherry Coke button. It's like, and one vends. And I'm like, um, is this happening right now? And so I'm like, make sure nobody's looking because the worst nightmare would be like, hey, dude, that's my soda. Don't drink that. But it's like, no one's around. Grab it, I uncork it, and I drank it, and nobody thought second of it. And so I have, and not to mention the fact that back when I was heavier, when I would go to a movie, like a big movie, like say an MCU or Star Wars, I would always have like a mix of cherry Coke and Coke Zero. I call it the light side and the dark side of the Force. And so there's a lot of memories attached there.
Yeah. Yeah, our vending machines are like Coke Zero, Diet Coke. Like it's all the boring ones. Like I miss like I want to get like actual like Coke or like cherry Coke. Like you said, like Coke Zero and Diet Coke are just they're disgusting. So like I don't
Yeah.
yeah. And then like they also serve like Sprite Zero, which isn't horrible, but still it's something I don't want to like get like I don't know why they did that, but my fourth place is Dr. Pepper, which you said a little bit ago. My parents are huge Dr. Pepper drinkers, and I'm not as big of a fan as them because I personally prefer like root beer over it. But Dr. Pepper does have a good I guess if you want to say a kick or like a different like it's different than like Coke or Pepsi, obviously. They add like a little like kick to it. And I think it's one of those things that because it's so unique in their taste that it like I can understand why it can end up being your favorite. And I think it does definitely has a little bit of cherry in it for some reason. I don't know even know why I taste that. And I know there's like actually cherry Dr. Pepper, which is good on its own, but which is a good soda. But the classic Dr. Pepper is really good.
Have you by chance had cream soda, Dr. Pepper? I know they had that for a while.
Yes, I think they still make it. I'm not. I mean, I'm not the. It's not my favorite Dr Pepper cream soda, but it's a good combo for what it is.
Yeah, oh crap, I just had a thought. And now it left me. But it all revolves uh so for my number 3, there you go. So for my number 3, I am choosing, and this is a bit more of an obscure one, but I'm going with, it's called Warritos or Jarritos. But whenever I tend to go to a Mexican restaurant and I see that they have Warritos there, I usually get one. I have another story attached to this. In 2018, I went to Germany as part of a study abroad group, and the leader of the class was African, not African American, but like African. I believe he was from Ghana, and he found a African restaurant that was in Munich, and so we're like, I'm going to show you guys a bit of what we eat where I come from. And it was a great meal. We had like alligator and we had ostrich, and it's really exotic foods, but it was all really good. We had oxtail and like rice and beans, but I mean everybody's got rice and beans, but it was like this like African tuca spice. Like it was fantastic. But strangely, the drink that they had was Coca-Cola and Doritos, which is a Mexican soda, but they had, and it was really good. So it's another thing where it's like I associate that with just like a really fun meal with my classmates. And it Doritos is a rare treat, but when I do see it, I can find like when I do see it, I have it.
No, I don't. I've heard what you're talking about. I've never had it before. But kind of tagging on to that, in third place, I'm putting Coke, original Coke. Um, and like this weekend, I got a Coke 2 liter and like kept like pouring glasses of it, and I quickly became addicted to it. I don't even know how to fully like explain my love for like original Coca-Cola. And I think and I gotta say, it didn't make it onto this list, but vanilla Coke is also good. If only they still sold it. What
Yeah.
they might. I just don't see it ever. But Coke, like I don't know. I like it so much better than Pepsi, honestly. I don't
Yeah.
know I don't
Pep-
know if you're Coke or Pepsi. Um,
well, Pepsi kind of tastes like sugar flavored TV static to me. I've never been a Pepsi person. Nothing against like I'm more of a fan of like in terms of like TV commercials, other than like the Christmas ones, the Coca-Cola ones have just been kind of there for me. Like the Christmas Coca-Cola ones with the polar bears, I love. But Pepsi has been far better with their ads, like the Michael Jackson one, the one with Cindy Crawford, their Super Bowl ones, the various ones have just been great. But I'm a Coke person, and yeah, I guess I should say this, but it's probably not the smartest idea to drink an entire like 2 gallon thing in like all the time. So just putting that out there.
yeah,
Just remember moderation. That's all I'm saying.
yeah. Um, Yeah, Coke is just like addicting to be honest. Like, and then I also got like RC Cola, which I know is like old. I got that, and I was like, there's no like competition here. Like, and not that RC Cola is bad. I mean, it obviously didn't make it onto this list. I don't know if you have any thoughts on it.
It's not bad, but it's just kind of there. It's like Coke is the original. It's like it's the best.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of reminded me of Pepsi. I mean, it's definitely my least favorite of the three, but yeah, what's your second place?
So for my second place, I'm going with Sprite. And again, this is attached to a lot of very fond memories. When I was like when I would go to see like just a normal movie, I would get a Sprite. Or when I was a lot younger, I would take like I don't know if you've ever done this before, but I would take like say a fruit juice, like not like a name brand like fruit juice, but like something like I don't know, kind of like a fruit punch kind of thing. And I would mix it with the Sprite, and it would be like either called jungle juice or bug juice. And it would just be like, it was like me and my friends would just like, you want to make some bug juice? And like, let's make some bug juice. And so we would just make it and drink it. It was just great. But Sprite
Honestly,
on its own is fantastic.
yeah. Well, you read my mind, Ryan. Second place for me is also Sprite. Uh,
Oh, wow.
I I didn't know if I mean I didn't I knew at least one of ours had to overlap somehow, and it ended up being Sprite. Sprite is like I'm surprised it's this high up, but like Sprite's really good. I mean, one if like you're like under the weather. I mean, it's good for that. But like also like it's one of those like it's just like refreshing no matter what. I mean, it kind of reminds me of like I get lemonade a little bit if you want to call it like the refreshing drink, just like that's good for sipping on. Um, but what I like about Sprite is that it's not too intense with its flavors to the point where it can almost be treated like water in a sense. To like it's not like overpowering, which is I
Mhm.
think really good. So like if you're feeling like a kind of like again under the weather mood, Sprite's a really great option. And The flavors of Sprite are also good. There's cranberry Sprite, which is really good. That comes out probably should soon. Cherry Sprite's okay, but yeah, I really like Sprite.
I've actually never had the cranberry Sprite. I've heard it's good from a lot of people.
Yeah. So what's your number one pick?
Well, I think I might have been alluding to it, but my number one is Coke, the original. And yeah, this is I have because I'm on my diet, I'm like soda's kind of out of it for me. I do have or try to have at least one Coca-Cola a year because like it's become a treat for me. It's on or around my birthday pretty much. But it's not too sweet. There is enough of a sarsaparilla kind of flavor to where it's not overpowering. However, it's not overpowering. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Pepsi because it's like too in your face with it. Coca-Cola is not. It's like it's the originator. And this was one of the first sodas to really go worldwide because you could take the syrup and you could fly it everywhere, and everywhere else had the sparkling water, and you're golden.
Yeah. Yeah, Coke's definitely up there. My number one, I mentioned it earlier, and it is root beer. Root beer is my personal favorite, and of course, I'm drinking it right now. I mean, I try to get it. I try to get it not all the time, but lately I bought some vanilla ice cream because root beer floats are root beer
Oh
floats are one of my
yeah.
favorites though. Um, and yeah, so if we're talking about a specific brand, Barks is my favorite. And what I like about it is that they give a good, I don't know, they give like a good kick to it. It's like a different flavor than like A&W or Mug. Um, and I think it actually really works. Like root beer floats are definitely one of the best desserts I've ever had. They're easy to make. Um, and root beer, like I remember uh back few houses before, there was a Walgreens like 2 minutes walking distance from us, and I remember my brother taking me, and once a week I got like a different kind of like root beer. So I tried all kinds of different root beer, and Barks is definitely my favorite. And I just root beer's like just I don't know. There's not enough things to say to express my love for root beer, but it's definitely my favorite.
Yeah, it's really hard to mess up a root beer float. It's simple, but wow, like it hits the spot every single time.
Yeah. Um, I mean, not as far as like if honorable mentions. I mean, I mentioned Vanilla Coke. That's really good. If only they was still around. It might be. I just don't see it ever. Cranberry Sprite is definitely one. And I know, and what's the other one? And we're talking about like variations of a few Sprite. If you take Sprite, for instance, um, Seven Up, Sierra Mist, they're both okay, but they cannot compete with Sprite.
Yeah,
Mellow
that's for sure.
Yellow, Mellow Yellow cannot compete with Mountain Dew. It's just as simple. It's as simple as that. They cannot compete with like the top tier. It's easier if you're getting like for there's Orange Phantom, there's Sunkist, there's Orange Crush. Like there's three different kinds, which is kind of surprising. And then like there's like three different main kinds of root beer, which is Barks, Mug, A&W. But those you can kind of compete with a little bit, but like when it comes to like if you're like flipping like a name on it and it's not going to be as good as quality as the original, like Mill Yellow or Mountain Dew. But do you have any honorable mentions?
As far as honorable mentions, I don't have a ton. I think if I had to stretch, I would say Seven Up because I've had pleasant Seven Up experiences in my life, but it just missed out. Um, hmm, I think that's about it.
Yeah. Um, but honestly, I mean, soda is just, I probably drink it too much, to be honest. But I don't know. I feel like, I mean, I know a lot of kids who, I mean, I know my brother is one of those people who like finishes a Mountain Dew, grabs another kind of thing. But for at least right now, for at least right now. A can a day isn't like awful, and most days I don't even drink like a whole can, but it's definitely good.
Yeah, it is. As long as you do it in moderation, I think that's the best policy. And there's a bunch of horror stories about like how soda's dangerous and all. It's like everything in its own way is kind of dangerous. As long as you maintain some level of control, then you're solid.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a good lesson for uh, the world. Honestly, as long as you're in control of it, it can go. It's as long as you're in control with it, it should be fine. Just don't
Yeah.
mess. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for joining me, Ryan. I'll link your channel in the description below. And yeah, this was a lot of fun. And thanks everyone for watching me studio. And thanks for joining me, Ryan. Bye.
Thank you for having me, Micah.
See ya.